Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler video series we've been doing for a little while now. We go over there, try out food and drink items. Stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I have been meaning to go over there and review some Panda Express Chinese food on this channel for a while now. So, here we are. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Born of Osiris shirt with the very neat graphic. What with the rather interesting choice of Darth Vader being a pharaoh of some variety. Yeah, man. So Born of Osiris, they are a band out of Illinois who, for me, despite them being in the heavy metal category that I do enjoy so much, I really just never had much inclination to get into their stuff. And I just never ran into it until last year when I went over there. I was going to a show. It was 2023, kind of at the end of the year. And they did a Christmas show at a local spot. And I was like, yeah, okay, they were performing with a couple other bands I wanted to see anyway. And they were really fucking good, man. It was one of those things where it was like, why? Why did I wait so Why did I deny myself the enjoyment of Born of Osiris for so many years? Because they have been at it for quite a while now. I really enjoyed their stuff. They're an awesome addition, well, not even addition, staple of the Illinois metal scene, in my extremely humble opinion. I went over there, I bought some merch, I got some videos of their performance that I attended. You can check those out on this channel, or if you need any, me to direct you at all, be happy to point you in their or point them in your direction. That's what I meant. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? Well, it ties into the local thing, again, local band and stuff, because I'm reviewing something from Hunan Palace Chinese restaurant. Happens to be in Elmhurst, Illinois. I've been meaning to review some Chinese food for a while. It was just one of those things I don't know, for some reason it never really tied in the way I wanted it to. But I finally was like, all right, man, I'm going to do this. Now, here's the thing. I went over there. I have ordered from this place in the past, but it's not a frequent thing that I do, just because I have two other spots that I usually hit up. This is kind of my third option. Not that I've ever disliked anything that I've ever gotten from them that I remember. I just have a couple other places a little bit closer to me. But that was kind of why I chose this place, because I was like, cool, let's do some stuff. But if I'm going to do some stuff with a new-ish place to me, I got to start somewhere that I'm familiar with. It's Sesame Chicken. Because I was like, man, I love Sesame Chicken. It's been one of my favorite, Chinese food dishes forever. And if you can get this right, I'm on your side. So let's go ahead. I've even got some chopsticks. Not that they came with them. They, came with just normal utensils, but I had these in my car from a previous review. So let's go ahead. First and foremost, let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like that. Ha 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 ha. I mean, it looks proper. Sesame chicken, just, it's delicious. I don't know anybody who dislikes sesame chicken. I'm sure they exist, but those are probably bad people. Let's give it a go. That's good to me. Yeah. That is some perfectly fine sesame chicken. And I should mention, like, Hunan Palace, it is very much one of those kind of, smaller, sort of hole-in-the-wall Chinese food establishments. When I was a kid, most Chinese food places, kind of in the area that I was at, they had, like, the big, super done-up, trying to kind of emulate Chinese style in a Americanized kind of way restaurants. where you sit down, you do the thing. But I think at a certain point, most of them realize, and kind of the Chinese food industry realize, takeout is probably going to be their bigger thing. So most of them, kind of compacted. Some of them don't even have real seating or anything. Hunan Palace does, though, to be fair. But it's just a couple little tables and everything. So, but yeah, man, that's good. That's just, and nothing what I said was meant to be, insulting towards them or anything like that. Just kind of trying to give you the atmosphere. No, this is really good. It's, it's nice, it's flavorful. If you've never had sesame chicken, closest I could kind of go with that you might be a little bit more familiar with, although I think sesame chicken is pretty pervasive at this point. Kind of like General Tso's chicken, like almost like a mix between like General Tso and like orange chicken. It's not as sweet as orange chicken, but it's definitely, yeah. And I have no idea what they use to make the sauce. Part of me thinks that there might be hoisin sauce in it, but that is me just pulling stuff out of my butt. But no, it's good. The sauce is nice. It's doing its job of coating the chicken. The chicken itself does actually taste good as well. Sometimes with the heavier sauces that you get with a lot of Chinese food, it can kind of block out the, the flavor of whatever the protein is. And I have heard, and I'm not saying, that some establishments, not even just within the Chinese food industry, but within the food industry in general, a lot of times they will go over there and make these big heavy sauces to kind of cover up for the fact that the actual, ingredients they're using maybe aren't the highest quality. But I'm not casting that shade on Hunan Palace because their stuff is very tasty. Like I said, chicken tastes perfectly fine. It still comes through even with the heavy sauce. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit savory. And for me personally, as somebody who, again, this is one of my favorite Chinese food dishes, I think it's a perfectly solid example of some sesame chicken. It's not groundbreaking or anything. I'm not going to say it's the best sesame chicken I've had. I did at one point, this is years ago now, but I did go to one place and it was like a real like sit down Chinese food place. And that was probably, I could not tell you what it was anymore, but that was probably the best sesame chicken I had. It was just like clearly just made super duper fresh and like just like their own specific sauce. But yeah, man, I'm very down with this. It's tasty, the chicken is tender, the exterior has a little, firmness to it, but not in like a chewy way or anything like that. Just a little bit different texture than the internal chicken, as it were. Yeah, I like it. Two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I mean, I'm going to go with yes and yes, I think, in both instances. Like, again, I wanted to start someplace familiar because, again, I don't have a lot of experience with Hunan Palace. I know I have ordered from there in the past, but it's at least been probably like 2 years or so, I think. And it's like, look, if you can get this down, I can be on board with you. And yeah, this is, not only is it a good example of the sesame chicken, it's filling, it's going to be really tasty. It's not going to be for everybody, but I personally really enjoy it. And yeah, it's not breaking the mold, it's doing exactly what I want it to do. And that's all I ask. And if I'm recommending it, like I said, I do have a couple other places that are more my go-to spots when it comes to this type of Chinese food. But as far as this being what it is, I mean, yeah, I could, if for one reason or another, one of those two locations isn't available, sometimes they have to close down for one reason or another. But yeah, this is it's a perfectly solid option. I think if you live in the Elmhurst area, and there's a lot of really good food areas in Elmhurst, but I think if you just want some very solid, no surprises, but perfectly well put together, takeout Chinese food, the very least, their sesame chicken is not going to do you wrong. That's just my opinion. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly sesame chicken-tastic rest of your life. Because again, it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. But what do I know? I'm just the guy doing the reviews. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in said situations where we have to deal with that bullshit, it's important we go over there, at least when we can. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what I would like you to do, you know what? Here's what you can do. If you want to help your good buddy Brandon out, hit me up in the comments section. What are like your favorite Chinese food dishes? You know, like I said, for me, I'm a big fan of sesame chicken. Probably my first love would be like sweet and sour chicken, because I mean, come on. But even going further back, you know, like teriyaki beef was a big one for me when I was a kid. Who doesn't love a fucking egg roll or a crab rangoon? I mean, there is a lot to be said for the Chinese food industry in America, even though I know it's very different than like actual Chinese food and stuff. It's become its own culture and its own thing, and part of the American identity. And I think it's wonderful. And so if you have any cool stories, places that maybe you might have gone to when you were younger, or dishes you enjoyed, you know, hit me up in the comments. If nothing else, hey, maybe go over there and order some Chinese food. Bye.